Hi, everybody. This is Stephanie from the Yale Alumni Association. I'm a member of the regional clubs team, and I'm here tonight for a Yale Alumni Live Pep Rally edition. It's that time of year, November, when we all start getting really excited about the game. If you remember last year, and I'm pretty sure you do, we did not have a game, but we did have a pep rally to celebrate all things Yale, and this year is no exception. I'm really excited to kick off the pep rally throughout the month of November with a friend pairing, not a rivalry between Yale and Harvard, but two friends, one who went to Yale and one who went to Harvard, and their really cool story of how they came together to write this book, The Last Season. Jenny, Judson, and Danielle Mahfood, who's class of 98. So tonight we're going to kick off the pep rally with this exciting story of friends, and I'm going to bring Danielle on to the show to tell us a little bit about her story, and then we'll be joined by Jenny. So without further ado, I am going to bring Danielle on here, and here coming any second now. We're excited that you're here tonight. Hello. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, how are you, Stephanie?
Good. I'm excited to have you on the show tonight and to talk about a Yale Harvard friendship story since this month is very much about the rivalry.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me and us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I told everybody that we're going to kick things off with hearing you a little bit about your story, and then we're going to have Jenny join us. We're going to talk about the book, The Last Season. So let's get started. And if you would, just tell us a little bit about your story, where you kind of grew up and where you went to school and how you eventually made your way to Yale.
Sure. So I grew up in New York City, and I actually followed my brother to our high school, which is where Jenny and I met, which is St. Paul's School. It's a boarding school in New Hampshire. And then I applied to a whole bunch of schools and was fortunate enough to get into Yale. And I started at Old Campus, and I can't remember what my entryway was, but I was a Pearson, and just had such an amazing experience at Yale. Did my first 2 years on campus and my last two off campus, but just made such great friends there, and of course, spent a lot of time at the Harvard Yale games, and enjoyed that rivalry and all the things that Yale had to offer.
So you went to a boarding school, which is where you met Jenny, as you said. We'll talk a little bit about that because that's where your story really begins, and you have such a wonderful and unique connection that led to the book. But tell us a little bit about why you chose Yale. Why did you decide to go from New York City to New Hampshire and then to New Haven? Was it the new connection? What was it all about for you?
Will tell you that I looked at a bunch of schools, as I said. The one I really thought I wanted to go to was Georgetown, because that's where my brother was, and I liked following. So he went to St. Paul's, and then he went to Georgetown, and I love Georgetown. But I actually, little known fact, I got into both Harvard and Yale, and I chose Yale because I just absolutely loved the campus and loved that it was in, a city that didn't feel quite like, Cambridge. And so it had a real feel for me, and I really kind of embraced Yale from the moment I visited the campus. And when I got in, I have to tell you, the arguments with my dad were beyond anything, but I chose to go to Yale over Harvard, and the rest is history.
So tell us a little bit about what you were involved in when you were on campus. What were some of your favorite things to do or the activities that you were most involved in?
Yeah, so I started out writing for the Yale Daily News, which, when I think about that, I didn't, it was sort of the seeds of my writing, and of course, I think I did a lot of that from freshman year through junior year, but then I think senior year, I just really wanted to have fun. So I didn't do too many things that were sort of outside of too many extracurricular activities. I was focused on getting a job. But yeah, a lot of writing for the Yale Daily News. We sort of were really social, going to all sorts of events on and off campus, and really just made a really great group of friends that has lasted to this day. I see some of them joining us today.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. So before Jenny joins us, and we could do our bula bula really quick. When you were on campus, did you go to the game each year?
Every year, and we would travel to Boston to go to the game. So it was a big, big, big deal. In fact, I remember and she might be on this, so it's a very funny story. But our first year, our freshman year, another St. Paul's friend of ours, we drove up to Boston together to see Jenny, at the game. It was in Boston our first year, and we were driving, we were driving so fast because we were racing to get there. Definitely not totally safe, and she like pulled over to the side, and it was a little crazy, but it was a lot of fun. Absolutely. I actually love football, and probably my love of football started with my dad, who always got my family into football. But he did join us one year at the Harvard Yale game at Yale, and he went to University of Mississippi and Purdue, and he had definitely had a thought process about the level of engagement in the game. He said, "Why is everyone out here at the tailgates? We're in the second quarter of the. Why is no one in the game?" So interesting, but
I have heard more than once that the tailgate is what it's all about, and we're excited to welcome fans back to New Haven this year for sure. So everybody's got a great memory from the game, and it's so fun. It was so much fun last year to relive those memories and to hear your memories. And so I think we'll bring Jenny on to hear a little bit about her story, and then I can't wait for you guys to tell everyone how you got started writing together, because I think it's such a wonderful story. So Jenny, we're going to pull you in here and introduce you to our Yale family. Hopefully she can pop up easily. There she is. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for joining us. So we'll give you your moment to talk about your Harvard experience. We had to get in our bula first. So Jenny, did you also graduate in 1998 from Harvard? Is that, you guys are the same year?
I did. We were classmates in high school and graduated the same year from college.
And so do you have a favorite memory from the Yale-Harvard game?
Oh, a lot. But what you just said about the tailgates is so true. It's funny. So when I married someone who is into football and who went to UNC, and so there's a big UNC thing, as people know. And when I told him that I really hadn't seen more than like a quarter of a game, he was horrified. He was like, "How is that?" I was like, we spent all the time tailgating."
There is quite the tradition. I am anxiously anticipating what next weekend is going to look like at the Yale Bowl. So, all right, now's the moment. I would love for you guys to share with everyone kind of your story of how you started writing, and it started when you were in high school. So Danielle, I don't know if you want to start that story, but I just love it. So share with everybody how this all got started for you guys.
Sure. So Jenny and I we actually didn't take too many classes together in high school, but we took one particular class, which was called human physiology. And it was kind of like pretending to be a doctor sort of class. And there was all sorts of like dissecting of things and blood pressure, taking blood pressure, et cetera. But to be honest, we were pretty bored in the class. And one day, Jenny actually wrote me a note, but instead of it being a note, it was about 2 pages of a little romantic story where I was the heroine and the guy that I had a crush on at the time was the hero, and there was a horse and a beach and all sorts of interesting, romantic elements to the story. So that's really where it all began. So we kind of decided at that point that this would just be a fun thing to do. Actually at our in our yearbooks, so Jenny actually wrote a dedication to me saying that the first trashy romance novel that she would write would be dedicated to me, which was completely a joke. But then fast forward to 2009, which is where we sort of like kind of came back together in New York many years later. And we went to go see a movie, The Young Victoria, which is just a wonderful period piece. And we walked out of that movie together, and I looked at her, Jenny, and I said, we're doing it. Let's write this book. This is a great time period to write about. So we walked right into Barnes and Noble and just started getting ideas.
I love that. So Jenny, since you're the person who initiated this kind of back and forth note writing, did you just see something that inspired you to start writing these notes? And how long did this go on for? You guys wrote back and forth to each other quite a bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it all started because in high school, Danielle and our friend group, like we would read these romance novels, you might remember like Danielle Steele and some other things like that. And some of them were historical fiction and some of them were romance. So a bunch of us read them and joked about them. And So that kind of, it was already in the waters, let's say. And then I would, write these little things about, Danielle and whoever we had crushes on. It was always someone that we were pining after. So that actually then extended beyond high school, because when we were in college, I think it waned a little bit in college, but then we both would spend birthdays together after college. I would write these little things for Danielle for her birthday. And so it became like a pretty regular thing that she would get a birthday card with a little in it. And she kept being like, no, you have to write that book. You said you were going to do it.
I love that. I think that's so much fun. Have you kept all of these notes? Do you have them somewhere?
I don't know. Do you have any, Jenny? Because I did.
I found at least one last year when I was going through some stuff in my attic, but I wish we had more.
I recently found an entire box of notes from my freshman year of high school, but I'm a little too scared to read them, to be honest with you. So if you do uncover them, who knows what you could do with them one day. It could be a lot of fun. So let's talk a little bit about the book and how that process kind of helped you as you were working together on the book. I can't imagine that it was a simple process kind of going back and forth, but tell us a little bit about how that worked for the two of you.
Yeah. Oh,
go for it, Jen.
I'll start, and then you go, Danielle. But when we, after that day that we went to see the young Victoria, which Danielle talked about, we both went back to our separate apartments, and I had an idea, and I think I called Danielle. I was like, I think I have an idea. And then we kind of came together, plotted things out, and would then go do our homework. And so each of us we originally conceived of it as a first-person narration with 3 first-person narrators, and we each took one and split the third and would do our homework, and then we'd come back together and share and compare notes and kind of do it all again.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say that I think one of the points of feedback we've gotten about the book from folks who've read it is they can't believe it's been written by 2 people, because it feels like it's very much in the same voice. And obviously we've been editing this for a long time. As we said, 2009 is when we started. So it's been a long time coming. But I think what we were able to do was smooth out each other's styles and sort of read aloud to each other, so that, it kind of became eventually the same voice, which was a lot of fun. And, honestly, it's really good to have a partner in this, because we have full-time jobs and full-time lives. So this has just been for fun for all these years.
Which is amazing. It's a total labor of love. And I think that's what's so impressive about it, is that you were able to seamlessly blend your 2 voices, but that just goes to show what great friends you are and how in line your thinking was. So how many years is that? 2009, what year are we in now? So it's been a long time coming. So, I mean, I physically have the book in my hand. What did it feel like when you got the book in your hand after all these years? Tell us what that moment felt like for you.
I'm going to start, because I'm working from home mostly, right? And I was back in my office, and then I hear this screaming from a small child pushing on, and I came out, and I was like, what's going on? And it's my because the book had arrived, and the box. Oh, she okay? The book. And it was an amazing feeling, I have to say.
And what about you, Jenny?
Well, so Danielle is very quick on the text message, way faster than I am on her phone. And it arrived at her house first, the ARCs. She got her box before I got mine, and she's texting me like, have you seen this? We got it. It was really exciting. So she got the excitement first, and I thought I was going to be a little blasé about it because that had happened, but a couple days later it arrived, and I'm kind of like running around the house, and I mean, it is really exciting to see this kind of come to fruition, I guess.
It still feels amazing,
Yeah. It's got to be incredible. I mean, you think about the little things that little things that you do throughout your life, things that you can feel proud of, but for other people to have it in their hands too. I mean, we haven't ever met in person, but I've got it in my hand and I'm very excited to be able to have it. And I know that you've gotten some wonderful reviews and people are very excited. So what was it like to see these reviews come through? I'm imagining that you've been a really great support for one another. That's a scary thing to put yourselves out there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nerve-wracking, right? Because, on the one hand, we had fun with it. We want it to be a fun story. We hope people enjoy reading it. But there's a lot of fear. You think, oh gosh, is anyone going to like it? And now it's out there. We can't take it back. we hope that it's going to go forward and people are going to enjoy. So having someone to call with those nerves is really helpful. And as Danielle said, it's been a really good partnership. It has been fantastic to have a partner.
Yeah, the first time, so Jenny and I were in Nantucket because we kind of have spent our summers together over the years. And that was the first moment this summer when the initial version of the book, the ARCs, went out. So people were reading it, the professional reviewers were reading it. And we would just sit there and look at get the email from our publisher. What did they say? Oh my God. And the first one we got was, I think, 4 or 5 stars. And we're like, wow, so someone actually liked it. And this isn't like one of our friends reading it. It's amazing. So that was an awesome moment.
That is so cool. I love that. So I guess the question is are you going to try this again? Are you going to keep going and write some more? Is there more to the story? Is there a new story? What do you think I was thinking at this point?
That is a great question. As we were writing, so this was probably like year 4, maybe, there's a character named Archie in the book, and both of us kind of looked at each other and we're like, we kind of have a crush on Archie, and we think if we're going to do this again, it might be about him. And so we've thought about it. We've gotten that question a lot, and I think as the question is asked more and more frequently, it's becoming more and more likely.
It's funny. It's like a little bit like a drug, right? So, I mean, it took forever to write the first one. Everyone said, oh my gosh, well, it takes 10 years to write your first book, right? And then it takes, so much less time to write your second. And so when we were in year 8, I was like, this is never going to get sold. This is going to be crazy, whatever. Like, we're never writing another one again. But now, feeling sort of that people are enjoying reading it. I think for us, it's become a lot more real. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can write about Archie's story, and that would be super fun. So we've both got ideas going. We just need to kind of sit down and share them and keep going.
I love it. I think it's so much fun. Like once you read a book, or you on the other side writing it, and you just can't get enough and you want more. So I'm sure that everyone who's enjoyed the last season would be excited for something else to look forward to. So we're coming up on the end of our time together. It's been so much fun hearing your Yale-Harvard friendship story, since the rest of our month is going to be a little focused on the rivalry. Neither of you set out, if I'm not mistaken, neither of you set out as undergraduates to become authors. It was something kind of that you wanted to do on the side. So for anybody who might be watching, who's thinking about this, what advice or thoughts would you like to share with them?
So I would just say you can do it. Don't give up, right? So, I mean, I think everybody in them, or anybody who enjoys reading and enjoys writing, has a story in their minds that they think I can write this. But it's really hard to get that going and really make the right. So I would just say, keep going. Don't give up on it. It can happen. And it can be really fun.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And I think one of the keys to our success, to the degree we got it, is that we didn't take ourselves too seriously. That it was sort of a blend of having fun and taking yourself seriously. Like you got to have equal measures of that, because you got to commit to it, but you can't let it bog you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to have realistic expectations of what this is going to be. If you're setting out to write the next great American novel, that's not what we set out to do. So, and we feel pretty good about what we did. So be realistic, but have fun.
And that's the best part. You feel good about what you're able to do together, and you did it together. And it's something that you'll have forever, regardless of whether or not Archie's story is told further. You will always have this. And again, thank you both so much for being here with us tonight. It is so fun to kick off our pep rally, our rivalry week with a great friendship story between Yale and Harvard, because we know a lot of them exist. So thank you both. I know that we're going to have a great outcome on Saturday the 20th. Jenny, I will wish you luck, but we're going to bula bula all day. So thank you both so much. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope to see you guys in New York City with the book sometime soon. So everybody, the last season, Amazon, all the places. Check it out. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bet the game.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.